I'll be completely transparent with you, my experience with digital camera gimbals has not been great. I've never had one that wasn't completely DOA. I've tried 3 different times, one I bought used and got a bad deal, and a couple I actually got sent and were faulty and I had to send them back. I was basically all against gimbals, and then Feiyu said they'd send me this one, and I have to say, it's completely changed my mind. So without further ado, hey guys, I'm Ryan Thomas, and this is my review of the Feiyutech SCORP Mini. Some more transparency now. Feiyu did send out the gimbal to me. They have not paid me. There was no obligation to make a proper video. They are not seeing this video before you. It's just simply a review I wanted to do, and to be honest, would have been handy to get the gimbal. Spoiler alert, I can see many uses for this on this channel. So with that out of the way, let's get onto the SCORP Mini's features. It's a compact 3-axis gimbal designed for compact camera setups and smartphones. There's no way I'm getting my Pocket 6K and 18-35 to fit on here. It's just simply too large and vastly exceeds the SCORP Mini's 1.2 kilo maximum payload. Instead, I've been using my Sony a7 III with 50mm f1.8 lens. This combination comes in around 850 to 900 grams, so under the limit, and has behaved beautifully. It has a touchscreen and joystick for menu and gimbal control, as well as this very smooth dial on the side that lets you program it to control pan, tilt, yaw, and also control follow focus with this optional follow focus unit. It attaches via the mount that you put the camera on, and it's very adjustable. However, I didn't find it to be particularly useful with this gimbal. Feiyu has a number of larger gimbals in the SCORP series, and that is where I think the follow focus would really fit, because there are not really many cinema lenses that would fit on here in the 1.2 kilo payload with a camera with the follow focus unit attached. And actually I found, as I'll try and get some photos up on the screen, that it didn't really fit everything on, and even despite the a7 III being pretty small and the Helios 44-2 lens being pretty small on there as well. This isn't to say that the follow focus unit is a bad product. I really wasn't able to test it very well because it just didn't fit on the Mini. Definitely designed for one of the bigger gimbal payloads, not for the Mini, I would say. Other cool features of the gimbal include 18-watt fast charging of the internal battery via USB-C, which I very much appreciate. As you guys know, I love USB-C. And it also has locking axes, which are really handy to have because it means you can leave your camera on there and then walk around with it, and you don't have to worry about flopping around. Then you set it down when you want to use it. You just unlock the axes with it sat on the floor or on a shelf or a flat surface, and away you go. I also found balancing the camera on there to be particularly easy. The way that they set everything up is really nice. They have good instruction manuals, and I found that within 5 to 10 minutes I had my a7 III balanced. The lightweight and small size of the SCORP Mini really has been a game changer for me. Those other gimbals, despite being DOA, they just felt too big anyway for a camera like the a7 III. This combination though, it feels like it was made to be. Easy to carry around, isn't mega heavy or cumbersome to use, and the good autofocus on my Sony lets you focus on the movement of the gimbal and not have to worry about that focusing luck, which is arguably the most important part of the operation. And thanks to the included coiled cables, I could actually map that record button on the back to trigger the camera record, which is really handy because before I did that, I was pressing the record button on the camera whilst it was on the gimbal, throwing off the balance and also just being really awkward and annoying. So having those cables included is very handy. Speaking of included accessories, the box presents the gimbal, mounting plates, hardware, several cables for charging and camera connectivity as I explained before, and a mini tripod which I leave on the Mini for easy setting down and also to balance the thing when I need to. And since both the gimbal and the tripod stand thing are both 1/4-20 standard threading sizes, it means that you could put the gimbal on pretty much anything you want, on a boom pole if you really wanted to get sort of crane shots, and you could use that little tripod for other things if you needed to borrow it for that. The menus on the rear control panel feel fairly intuitive, utilising swipe gestures with the now very familiar bar to the corresponding side where you would mean to swipe from. I mean, it's very much like an iPhone or an Android device in that respect. And battery life, well, that's amazing. I've been out on a couple of shoots with this thing. One of my best friends, Callum, we went out and shot some stuff, and then me and my fiance Katie went out and shot some stuff as well. That's where most of this footage has come from that you've seen in this video. And I haven't charged it since I got it out the box. So when I got it out the box, charged it up to 100%, and I haven't had to charge it since. In fact, it's still on 4 bars. And we weren't, you know, turning the gimbal off and on all the time. I mean, it was on for these hour-plus long sessions with the A7 III on, and it just hasn't dropped down from 4 bars. That's mega impressive. And yeah, I mean, that's maybe the most impressive part of the entire thing. Operation, needless to say, is very smooth. I found the whole user experience to be really easy, and the footage, if you see any issues with it, is more due to me, not due to the gimbal. We should definitely talk about pricing now, and I have to say, this is a bit that I'm going to find pretty tricky. I have not got final pricing. You will be able to see final pricing in the video description and in the comment section, because this video is embargoed, so I'm producing it before it comes out, and then anyway, you kind of get the idea. I'm going to guess, I have this written down, that it is going to be $239. The Kickstarter price is $199, however that's a very limited run, and when that runs out you'll have to pay more. But I do have some other notes. The SCORP, the full size SCORP, is $429, which has a much bigger payload, and the SCORP C, which is like a slightly smaller version of the SCORP, is $269, so it's quite a price difference, and that has a smaller payload again, but not nearly as small as this, the SCORP Mini. So given the early bird pricing is $199 and it is going to go up, that apparently has been confirmed, there's not much movement between $199 and $269, so I'm going to have to say $239. At that price, I would say it's great, but you need to be wary of what you're going to be using this gimbal for. So within the payload spec, you should be able to get a Sony a7 III with your standard sort of Sony 24, your 50mm, a couple of the G Master lenses also fit within the payload, stuff like that. If you've got a heavier camera, don't even bother. If it's really close to the limit, don't even bother. Just go for one of their bigger gimbals or a gimbal from another manufacturer. You don't have to stick with Feiyu. But if you've got a small mirrorless camera or a point and shoot camera, or you want to use your smartphone, or this is even better, you want to use your smartphone and then upgrade to a mirrorless, the SCORP Mini is a fantastic option. And if you can get it in that early bird pricing Kickstarter region, I mean, it's going to be a fantastic deal. I will have to say, I haven't said a bad thing in this video yet, which makes it seem sponsored. There probably are bad things about this, but I'm just really excited to use it, and it seems to work really well for me. Okay, no, I found a negative. Their app is like really annoying, and I mean, it connects fairly well, but it's just not particularly intuitive. So maybe their app is one of the worst things about this gimbal, but I've never really needed to use the app because the inbuilt menus on the little screen are just so good. Oh, and I guess another negative, it doesn't fit many of the bigger cameras, but then you would just buy the bigger gimbal anyway, so yeah. In conclusion, very impressed with the SCORP Mini. I'll probably be continuing to use it in my reviews because it's so handy. I can get sort of Katie or Callum to come out with me, use the gimbal, and even though they have sort of limited camera experience, they're able to get some decent shots of me using the smartphones and stuff. So yeah, fantastically useful tool, and something that I think at the $199 pricing is good, but maybe at the $239 it needs to drop down a little bit. There just seems to be not a lot of space between it and the SCORP C, but the SCORP C has a much bigger payload, so I don't know. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks to Feiyutech for sending out this gimbal, and thanks to my patrons for being continually supportive on these videos. Thank you so much, guys. Please do check out all the links in the video description. All my social media and stuff is down there. Please do like, comment and subscribe if you're new around here to never miss a video like this one. I've been Ryan Thomas, and I'll catch you later. Peace.